Hey guys, Aaron with AOP Tech here, and today we're going to be talking about Google Team Drives. And as you may have noticed, we've already done the video on that, so this one is the update edition. So it's been about 3-4 weeks since we've been using Team Drive here on our AOP Tech domain. I want to tell you about our thoughts, reactions, how it's been working. So, first thing first, our experiences. So, as Google has explained, that Team Drives represents a fundamental shift in sharing. This really does change the way we think about sharing folders within a team environment. Now, for those of us who've been in the education field or in the business field for a while, this kind of harkens back to that old shared drive. It was always the L drive or the S drive. And, there were definitely some issues with that. Those old drives, they became a kind of a dumping ground and required a lot of management. And so that's still some of our concerns, with these new team drives is that management aspect. And one of the things we noticed was when we started moving some of our files from individual folders and moving them into Google Team Drive, we've lost some files in there. So I definitely recommend maybe instead of just dragging, dropping, copying, and pasting. But now this kind of brings us back to this idea of having multiple versions of a file. I have my version of the file, then I have the Team Drive version of the file, and I think part of the reason why Google Drive in a sense was so revolutionary was the fact that I didn't have to have version 1, version 2, version 3 of a document. I didn't have to have multiple versions. I could just have one. And so this is kind of some, as I said, it's a fundamental shift. It's changing the way we're thinking about sharing. So I caution you, and I think really the problem when we try to move a whole bunch of folders into Team Drive was within those folders we had files that had individual permissions. I wasn't necessarily the owner of everything. Sometimes my coworker was the owner of things, and so things got lost in that migration. So that was our first kind of big shock as we started moving into this. The second issue that we've had, Team Drive has no folder level permissions. The permission settings of Team Drives is really done in a much different format. I'm going to show you that after this point as well. Within that folder level permissions, we also lose some external sharing abilities. Now, within Team Drives, you have the option to invite people in, so you can have a Team Drive with external people from your domain. However, let me show you an example in our Team Drive. So here we have our Team Drive, and the first thing we have the individual folders. And you'll notice that when I right click on the folder, I have the share and the get link, shareable link button are grayed out. Now if I click on a file, they become live. And so part of our problem was, a lot of times specifically for our AOP Tech webinars, we want to share external folders. A lot of times we compiled resource folders that had resources in them that we wanted to provide for our viewers. And when we moved everything to Team Drive, that didn't work very well. So I think, if you're using Team Drive strictly for an intra, system, and you really are only sharing things within your team, it gets a really powerful program. It's when you want to take something and then also share externally from a Team Drive that we ran into some problems. And of course, the fact that with not being able to change the sharing permissions of individual folders, that in itself kind of sets up some problems as well. Now, as I've included this link here, and we will also include this in the description below. This link here, Google's really provided a really nice layout of kind of a walkthrough. So the G Suite Learning Center, they walk you through, what is a Team Drive, how does it work, setting those permissions and who has access. And I really think that right now, Team Drive will improve. I think right now we're in this beginning portion of it. So now we want to move into kind of AOP Tech recommendations. Where are we right now? And our first one is to give it some time. Now, for those of you guys who watched the previous video, there was a mention of the fact that right now this was, you had to go into the admin console and enable it. It was kind of, it's being held back until January 1st, 2018. And so, you know, if you're one of those people that really want to wait and make sure everything is kind of sorted out, I would recommend just to give it a little more time. And maybe as that January date comes up, maybe you want to start, you know, testing it kind of a limited sub-organization, you know, maybe a closed group, whether that's a specific building team or a specific admin team. But I really would kind of give it some time, let some of these bugs and kinks and you know, all these little issues get sorted out. And I mean, to their credit, Google's doing a great job of listening to the community, listening to the feedback. They're implementing changes as we go. But I think for our you know, broader user base, I would say, you know, wait a little bit, let some of these kinks get ironed out before opening it up to your entire organization. Now, as always, if you've used Team Drive, if you have your thoughts, your opinions about it, we'd love to hear from you. So please leave them in the comments below. Connect with us on all of our social media platforms: Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, YouTube. Have a great day, guys. Thank you. Aaron Heights, AOP Tech. Take care.